Hello. Around last week, an anon left me a message asking me to make a video on my collection and like what's in it, where did I get certain things, and yeah. Sorry it's taken me like a week to get around to making this. Hopefully, I've never like made a fancy video before, but hopefully you enjoy this video and all your questions about my stuff are answered. Okay. So this is my collection. I changed up bookcases about a week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So top shelf are games, Sauron figure, and this calendar. Underneath, Pringles container, some sets of books. I'll be talking about a few of these in detail later. I like to call this my partly movie music shelf. DVDs, videos. Oh no, this should be here. More books, more Lord of the Rings. Again, I'll be talking about some of these more in detail. I'll try to move the camera slowly so you can see everything. Hey, Aragorn. Oh, and a Hobbit bag. Yeah, I got it at Barnes & Noble. Use that thing all the time now. Second to last shelf. There's that movie book. More Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, various other Tolkien things. Glass goblets. And the last shelf. Various movie books and Tolkien related books, some magazines that I recently got and magazines I've hoarded. You know, when Lord of the Rings is first coming out. Cups, random things. I'll be talking about some of them. Legos. Yep. So I thought I'd start with these 3 books, Lord of the Rings, were this was the first set I actually ever read from when I was about 9 and 4th grade, 10, something like that. Return of the King is the least damaged because I didn't read all of it. I read like half of it, but I read Fellowship and Two Towers, and they're kind of like, you know, damaged. Fellowship especially has tape on the binding, and you know, corners are deteriorating sort of. So even though I had like no idea what I was reading, these are probably my favorite set of Lord of the Rings just because of the memories they hold when I first attempted to read Lord of the Rings. This set belonged to my dad when he was younger, and it's the I'm always too afraid to take them out because they're old. It's the ones with these covers: Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. Yeah, these and Fellowship, the cover ripped off already. It did have a book jacket years ago. I just don't know what happened to it. I probably lost it. So this is my favorite copy of The Hobbit because I remember reading it a lot as a kid, and one time reading it for a school assignment, I was so excited. I'm like, yes, I get to read The Hobbit for school. This is like my go-to copy of The Hobbit. I have like 10 other copies, but this, my most favorite one. Realms of Tolkien. Glorious artwork inspired by the writing of J.R.R. Tolkien. So I love this. I don't exactly remember when and where I got this, but I've had it for years. Basically has artwork by various artists. like Alan Lee and Ted Nasmith, and the Blu-rays. It's so beautiful. I got this recently this year. I didn't have this for a long time. I've only watched from these like twice since I got them. But they're so nice and new as compared to like my older versions of Lord of the Rings. Pringles container, which I got back in probably around like 2003. Yeah, before Return of the King came out. I vaguely remember, you know, coming across it in the supermarket, and I only got it because Aragorn is on it in Return of the King. These bookmarks. These are just like paper, you know, like not well-made bookmarks, but I got these when I was in elementary school, and I remember the media center at my school were giving them out, and I was like so excited. I'm like, can you give me one of each? But they wouldn't like give me more than one. They would only give me one of each. This is probably one of my favorites just because, I don't know, sentimental reasons, I guess. It's a Gandalf knife. Franklin Mint. My dad found it at a flea market and he got it for me. I really want the Aragorn one. Haven't been able to find one yet. My dad got me these Frank Frazetta, Lord of the Rings prints. They're really, really beautiful. But they're old, they're like ripped on the top. This. Yeah. I don't remember where he said he got these. Probably at a flea market. I really want to get these framed. The last thing I want to talk about for this part of the video are my DVD sets. The extended DVD sets. These are special to me because since when I read Lord of the Rings when I was a kid, I couldn't keep up with it. So my childhood didn't consist so much of the books, but mostly the movies. And you know, if I ever complain about the movies, I do sometimes, but they are the things that really introduced me to Middle Earth and, you know, Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, and made me fall in love with this like completely new, different world. I've never even I never knew anything like Lord of the Rings, and it was completely different for me. And yeah, like 11 years later, I still love it. These are special. I remember my dad would buy each one when they came out that year, and we would sit down and we would watch them together, and we would discuss like, oh, that's the new scene, or we've never seen this before, this is really cool. I just love these. I love these so much. Like if I had to pick something that was my childhood, this. I'm counting them as one. These are my babies. I forgot to include this before, I don't know why I forgot, but my ring. Like, how could I forget this? One of my favorite, all-time favorite things ever in my collection, or anything I've ever owned. So it's the ring I won from the Tumblr giveaway that the ring makers did. Yep. Makes me feel special, like I'm a ring bearer. It doesn't have the inscription, but it's the same shape, and it's the same kind of chain. And I'm way too afraid to wear it in public because I'm afraid someone's gonna like snatch it, or I'm just gonna lose it. Yeah. And I also forgot to talk about, oh, why did I forget to talk about these? The complete recordings. These are amazing. Okay, that's all. Alan Lee's Lord of the Rings sketchbook I got off of Amazon. And for those of you who have never seen it, it's basically, it's like notes and shows some of his sketches he did. Yeah, that only is the Hobbit graphic novel. I know now it has a different cover, more dramatic looking. I love the art. Sometimes, you know, when art's not good for a graphic novel, it's just like, But this is Gollum and Bilbo. Yeah, I love this. Lord of the Ring Valentines I got, and you can tell like the package is ripping. I remember in 4th grade this girl was handing out Lord of the Ring Valentines to all the boys and Barbie ones to all the girls, and she gave me Lord of the Ring one, and I was kind of touched. I'm like, oh, you remember that, and yeah. I bought these for me. I didn't give them out. Lord of the Ring magnets from a flea market. Back in the day, I would cut out different newspaper things and rip out things that had anything to do with Lord of the Rings. Like this. Lord of the Preteens, like, and this, various other things too. I'm not gonna go through all of them. Lord of the Rings magazine from the year 1979. I don't remember where I got this. Newsweek, Hail to the Rings. Here. This, 'cause I used to buy a bunch of magazines when they were coming out. Movie Magic. Filming the Modern Classic. Fangoria. This, because it has something about Arwen and Bilbo. A magazine called Dream Watch. And oh, and now we're getting into The Hobbit. I still think something's up with Bilbo. It's just the Empire issue on the Lord of the Rings 10th birthday, and it has the Hobbits reunion and a bunch of things on Lord of the Rings in it. I have 2 versions of this. I don't really remember why, but it's the one, you know, like the first photos from The Hobbit were released. I got this from Amazon. It's the Middle-earth, the Atlas of Middle-earth. It's really interesting because you get to see, you know, different maps, and I think at one point they show like inside of hobbit holes or something. I haven't read like past a few pages, but yeah. Guide to Tolkien's World, A Bestiary by David Day. Barnes & Noble when it was in the bargain section. I think it actually is still there. Talks about, like, you know, different creatures in Middle-earth. Tolkien the Illustrated Encyclopedia, also by David Day. I found this in a used bookstore. I was so happy to find it. Another book by David Day, Tolkien's Ring. Myth and Magic, the art by John Ho. A brilliant artist. It's not all about Lord of the Rings, but in parts it mentions his work on it. Bargain section, bookstore, Barnes & Noble. My dad found this for me at a flea market. It's Architect of Middle-earth. I have like another copy of it, but this is like hardcover and really nice. These I got the official movie guide and the Lord of the Rings Making of the Trilogy. The Fellowship and Return of the King visual companions. I don't have Two Towers. I probably got these from a bookstore or Amazon a while ago. And this I got when I went to Radio City Music Hall for the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring concert. And I got Howard Shore's autograph. It was really cool to see him in real life. I don't know who this guy was. I feel like I should. There was someone sitting next to him signing, but sorry, I don't remember. I didn't know who he was. This was a really cool experience. I really want to go to the Return of the King one, but I don't know if it happened or if I missed it. I was excited when I got this because it's kind of like my first official Hobbit movie merchandise. that I purchased. I got these, I remember, at Christmas tree shop, long time ago. Hobbit VHS copy. I have 2 VHSs for the Lord of the Rings movies. The beautiful edition of these movies, because these movies are beautiful. And this, we all know and love. I have cards, like movie set cards, Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King. When I got like each set, I would lay every single one out and look at each of them. So yeah, they're just like cards about, you know, different scenes and characters and stuff. This I really love. It's each card is shiny. This is the first one. Like here's another. I hope you can see it. Legolas, the Balrog. Yeah. I have this tiny set. They're foil art cards, 9 of them, with a different character on each. Oh, I got the card sets from flea markets or comic shows, something like that. I have these, but I never really use them. Trading card game cards. No, never played with them. Oh, more foil cards, the shiny ones. Yeah. This is one of my favorite. They're the masterpieces cards, depicting, you know, different artwork by different artists. You have ones that look like this, and the Hobbit cards from the from the graphic novel. It's like it's one, you know, it has for different scenes. Like the beginning, Bilbo smoking from his pipe, Gandalf, the goblins, oh, spiders. Smaug. The Book of Lost Tales, I've only read a little of it. Both of them. I haven't read all of them yet. Looking forward to it though. There's so much to read about the history of Middle-earth and stuff. I don't remember where I got these. 4 other copies of The Hobbit that I have. This, the Eagles, John Ho's drawing of Smaug. You know, the classic Hobbit. Yeah. And this, I got at a bookstore a long time ago, and I remember buying it because my dad was like, "Really? You're gonna buy another Hobbit?" Yes, I will buy another Hobbit. I really like the cover. This, I'm planning on reading very soon. I have yet to read it, Unfinished Tales. I have this, and I recently bought this copy from a used bookstore because I really like the cover. And then we have these editions with Alan Lee's drawings on the cover, another Hobbit, and Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. I don't remember. Got these maybe from Amazon. I'm not sure. I really love this edition of Lord of the Rings. I tried reading it from it, but I stopped because I was like wearing out the binding. I didn't like that. Yeah, it looks like this. This on the back, Minas Tirith and Mount Doom right there. I think the cover art's really beautiful. This I got recently this year. This set, it breaks up each book, so there's 6 of them, including the appendices or by itself. And copies of the Silmarillion. This. And this one. I have another one because I think my dad wants to read it. Yeah, this one. And then I have 3 paperback ones of this. Paperback version of that other one. This one. And this. The Languages of Tolkien's Middle-earth. I remember buying this at Barnes & Noble when I was a kid. Same with the this one, The Magical Worlds of the Lord of the Rings. Shit, I forgot to turn Netflix off. Tolkien's World from A to Z, The Complete Guide to Middle-earth by Robert Foster. Yeah. This, The Hobbit, Another Hobbit, and Two Towers. Still on the lookout for Fellowship and Return of the King in for these editions. And this were the copies I recently read this year. Fellowship and Two Towers. And I found this a few weeks back. I was so happy because it's like the same as these, and I was looking everywhere, so I finally have completed this Lord of the Rings set. I went to go see what other things I want to talk about, and I took out basically everything. Whew, so yeah, bear with me. I really love this edition of Lord of the Rings. So there's this. These hardcovers with illustrations by Alan Lee. I haven't read from these. I'm way too scared to open them and read from them. I'm afraid I'm gonna like stain them somehow. It's so pretty. Look at that. Yeah. People usually, they ask me like where did I find some books, and basically you just look everywhere. You look at Amazon.com, other websites, you go to Barnes & Noble, any bookstores, used bookstores, library bookstores, flea markets, tag sales, basically in comic shows, anywhere where you think you might find them. I found these at a used bookstore, like beginning of this year, I think. I have yet to find the Fellowship one. I also found these two, and again I can't find Fellowship. I found these two in a used bookstore. So used bookstores, they will have things. Well, this I think is cool because it's my only copy of the, oh wait, it's one of my copies that, you know, has something that, you know, talks about how it's gonna be a movie. That makes me kind of excited. Also, I like the art on it. This set of Lord of the Rings, I think it's really interesting because the covers are so odd, but you know, in a good way. There's Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King. And they each have a map. I feel like this has always been in my house because I don't remember receiving it or finding it outside. But it's it has a disc, the record for The Hobbit, and it's like it's from the Rankin and Bass version. It's like a little kid's book with illustrations on each page. Yeah. Sting letter opener. Got out of flea market. My dream is to one day own like a replica of one of the swords, like a real beautiful replica. This is Sting. Yeah, the Morta. This journal I got when I was a kid. I remember when it was, you know, when bookstores were filled with Lord of the Rings because movies were coming out. So I begged my mom to buy me this. So I have this. Tolkien trivia. It's like in the bargain section at Barnes & Noble. Oh, this. I was really surprised when I was going through my collection. I didn't know I had this, the Smith of Wootton Major and Farmer Giles of Ham. They're really cute stories. Very quick. Has nothing to do with like Middle Earth and stuff, but Lord of the Rings puzzles. I've got, I think bargain section from a bookstore again a while ago. I don't want to take them out. I might lose pieces. So yeah. The Lord of the Rings trilogy jigsaw book. My dad got these for me at a flea market a few months back. Calendars. Yeah. This one, same. And these. I think this is the one. Oh, this is the one with the illustrations inside from the cartoon movie that we all know we love. From the year 1979. Yeah. This I got. I don't have the other two. I wish I did because they were doing like a set of Fellowship and Return of the King. They were selling like one each year. Other Lord of the Rings calendars I've collected over time. If you, I guess, want to know more about different items, I could make another video. But this is just like an overview of my collection. Yeah, so oh, and people, I got an anon asking me, like, why do you collect? Like, what's the point of having all these different editions if you don't read from all of them? Basically, I personally love collecting because I love finding items I've never seen before or thought even existed, like that Gandalf knife. I love coming across an item that I've been looking for a long time. It's a really good feeling. And I hope I get to expand my collection even more over the years, and I hope I still collect when I'm much older. Okay, I just thought I'd do one final shot of it. Did I forget? Oh, I talked about that. I forgot to talk about the Frodo plushie. He's adorable. Okay, so that's it. I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Okay.